What's up, everybody? So, Ryan here. I just got a new baby calf. Guess what? It's a girl! Ain't you, sweetie? Yeah, so what about it? So, I'm trying to come up with a name for this calf. She just has a striking similarity to Rosie. She's not Rosie's calf. Rosie died just a couple weeks ago, unfortunately, before she could have her own calf. But I'm gonna go ahead and tag her, and I have Rosie's old halter here. So I know she's way too small for it. She's over there hiding behind Mom. Actually, where is her mom? That's not her. She's probably on the other side of the bale. Yeah, Rosie V2, basically. Ooh, Maddie, that's a good name. So, don't need more of my face. There we go. So she's pretty fresh. Her umbilical cord is still pretty wet. Let's walk up to her. Hopefully she doesn't run away from us much. I did catch her before. She's pretty chill. She's not used to me talking though. Come here. Hey, sweetie. Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah. It's okay. Calm down. Calm down. So, first things first, we should probably tag her. I haven't figured out how I'm going to do this with my camera, but most I can try to do is set it on the bale. Ebony, she does look like an ebony, doesn't she? So, she's actually like super chill. Where are you going? Whoa! Yeah, you don't like being held, do you? Why don't you lay down like you were before? All right, I'm just gonna go ahead and tag her real quick. Number 99. So, some of you may be wondering why I didn't post a video today. I've been having quite a few issues with my computers. Some of you may know I was building a computer. Got the parts for it, tried firing it up, doesn't start. And I was up pretty late last night trying to get that thing to work. So unfortunately this morning I started working on a video, got like half through it, and I'm like, I might as well just post this tomorrow. Well, thanks, Farmall Fanatic. She is a pretty good looking calf. Oh yeah, kind of got a pretty good look on my face. Seems like she's pretty camera shy though, because before she was acting pretty chill. Right now she's kind of fighting me a little bit, so. All right, so tag goes in the left ear because when you're looking at them, you read left or right. At least I do, unless you're dyslexic. Yeah. That's okay, chill out. All right, number 100. Figured I'd just do a live stream of this today because I didn't post a video like I do on my normal schedule. All right, hang on, honey. I know, we're all done. We're all done. So, why don't you guys say some names? I'll go through and pick one for her. I'm hoping, or what I'd like to do is kind of halter train her, and then have her over at the farm for the farm day. Because she actually is like pretty calm for a calf. So, well, since I got the halter, might as well at least put it on you and see what it looks like, right? I know. Camera down so I can actually put this on her. So halter's way huge. but he'll grow into it. Am I right or am I right? I don't think she's too fond of it. Gotta be super hot to be a calf. She's like on fire. But yeah, things go as I plan. You might see her at the farm day if you're coming to it. When you halter train cattle, they tend to be pretty lax. They don't really fight you too much. Rosie was basically just a big lover. She was a calf all the way through. I mean, I would always be able to walk up to her and just kind of put my hand on her and she'd be pretty chill about it. So I'm gonna go ahead and let her back up. You're good to go. Give her a few weeks and you'll fit in it. So this actually, I think, brings me up to 6 calves now. I've got 2 more calves to go, and I think I'm pretty, say 6? Yeah. So I'm actually up to 3 heifers and 3 bulls. Once they're all done calving, I'm gonna go ahead and let all of my cattle out into the green pasture right on the other side of the fence. I would let them out, however, due to the experience with previous years, I know that it's a lot wiser to keep them in here until they're all calved, because then I gotta crawl through the brush and army crawl to try to find them, which is fun, but I'm not too big on it because there's really no guarantee that you're gonna catch them. And then this way I know who their moms are. I have actually pretty good records on all these calves this year compared to others. Yeah, she's kind of just chilling out over there. So, how you doing, Ben? But we just started doing beans yesterday, actually. The videos will catch up soon enough. Part of the reason why I didn't have a video today is because my videos have been so up to date that I don't have enough time to edit them on when they're going to be coming out. I was hoping I could put my computer together last night, but I was having issues with it. I tried to use my other one to make a video for today. Didn't work out, so that video will probably just come out tomorrow or Friday. And I want to start getting back on a regular schedule. And for those of you who aren't sure, my normal posting days are Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays at 11 a.m. I haven't been sticking to that too well recently, just because of people got on me for not keeping my videos, like basically just film them yesterday and then post tomorrow. And I don't know, it was a lot easier to kind of get a rhythm going. So I think I'm going to start pushing back a little bit and just kind of get a stack of videos up, and then it kind of gives me more time to plan future videos that way, rather than what am I going to film today? You know, I don't really like pushing it like that. So they look pretty happy. Something else I got to try to do though is I got to try to, I'm not totally sure if I'm going to be able to do this just because it's stuck in the mud. I'm going to go set my camera up against the barn. I gotta try to get the feeder up and put it on the bale. So I'm not totally sure what kind of success I'm gonna have doing this, but I'm gonna try. So let me just prop up my camera. Still too high? Hey Farmer John, how you doing? Really windy today. If you guys haven't figured that out. Hey JD. Alright, so see that? It's gotta go over there. kind of dirty doing that, but whatever. So the reason that I had to do that was because when we fed cows, normally we'd go through and just pick it up with the skid loader, but the reason we didn't today was because last night it rained and the lot is pretty wet. Because they like to sit around the feeder, and by sitting there, you know, they pee and poop there, so over time it just gets pretty boggy. Couldn't get in there with the skid loader, so normally what you have to do is just kind of do it by hand. Well, I think these guys are good to go. So as far as that video goes, expect either tomorrow or Friday, and expect that I will start getting back on my normal schedule. I just haven't been able to keep a backlog. People complain because Travis and I aren't on the same page. Travis likes to post his basically immediately. For the amount of editing that I have to do on mine, even just like color grading and stuff, really it just takes more time. And as a farmer, you know, I'm pretty busy. So what kind of drone do you have? I've typically used Phantom's DJI. I just bought a new drone. Kind of keeping that to myself for a while. But a DJI Phantom is basically just as good as any drone. I recommend spending too much money because they do crash. So, hey guys, 1 year review on the Denali. It's not a bad idea. Maybe I will do that. I just actually pulled it out of the shed again recently. People have been asking where it's at. Well, I kept it in the shed over winter just because I didn't really want to get it out on the salt for the first year. Turn the camera a little bit loud. I'll come into the barn. Okay, it's still equally windy in here. I'll hide behind this wall. How's that? Is that better? Well, thanks for watching, Sean. I appreciate you stopping in and watching our videos and appreciating them. Oh. Thanks for your compliments, Counter. Can you do a video on the bull? Well, I can talk about the bull right now. I know Dad got him from a local guy a few years ago, and there's really not much to say about him. He is straight black Angus. We aren't really too worried about making sure our cattle are, you know, purebreds and stuff. Most of mine are crosses. I don't actually think I have any purebreds. Yeah, most of mine are crosses. So we're actually thinking about changing the bull out because he is starting to get kind of up there in age. He's not been performing quite as good, I think. I noticed this year that it seems like last year my calves were like boom, 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 boom. This year they are so spread out. But Dad should be calving about any times before long here. So what I'm going to do is, since I like my I like my cows to calve earlier in the spring compared to Dad's. This way, while they're still in the barnyard, I can catch them like I just did now. It's just a lot easier to keep track of them by, you know, controlling when the bull can get to my cows and start breeding them. I don't know. He's been doing all right, but I think it's time to switch out. We were talking about doing it. I can't keep any, after this bunch, I can't keep back any more heifers, except out of the cows that I already have. And that's because, well, then they'd be inbred. How are you getting on crop-wise? We just started beans yesterday, and we got 30 plus 27 acres done. So about 57 acres done yesterday before the rain caught up to us. Did you guys get the small auger put together from the auction? I mean, I don't know if they took it back apart and didn't put it back together. I really haven't seen it since we bought it. It's kind of tucked back in the shed. That calf is probably no more than 24 hours old. The umbilical cord's still wet. She's walking pretty good, but she's still a little bit shaky. So I'm gonna guess sometime early this morning, if not late last night. I just checked them yesterday and she wasn't here then, so. Here's another topic of discussion I'll talk about in the live stream. I was planning on kind of talking about this in a future video, but a lot of people have been asking about the barn out at my place. You know, I personally do like the barn. I like its position. It kind of blocks my view of the road, kind of blocks the road's view of me. And I don't know, I'm just getting kind of worried about the status and the health of the barn, because if you look, basically stuff's just been falling. Like this hole was not here before. This whole section of wall just kind of fell out, and it's losing wood all the time. I would like to go through and kind of fix it up someday, but to be perfectly honest, that's going to have a little bit of extra cash, and I don't see myself being able to have the cash that soon. So, but it would be nice to, build it up and even make it into like a nice little thing. Maybe that's what I should do. I should start a GoFundMe, and then anybody who funds it can come out and check it out after it's done. But that would be pretty cool, just to kind of, I don't know, make it into a loft, because it's a lot of open space upstairs. If this thing does ever fall in, probably something else, another shed's going to come in here, just to kind of give the cattle better shelter. This one's kind of got a lot of holes in it and stuff. So, barn tour. Yeah, I could go upstairs too, but have a look at this. You can tell that the barn is starting to tip away from the house. Just kind of a bit of a shock to me, because the wind direction typically blows out of the west and towards the east, and that's toward the house, but it seems like the barn's starting to tip out that way, and it's pretty evident as well in the foundation over here. You can see the cracks that are forming. The brick is just kind of, the rock is just kind of starting to go that way. So, see these rails in here? Back in the day when they still milked in here, they had a bucket that hung down, and they would fill this bucket with, manure from the cattle, and then they'd take it outside, and I'm not totally sure where the split was. That's a good question, actually. But that's how they kind of got the manure out of the barn. They just had a bucket that went around on a rail. Here's the central part where they ate. Not original, but, So, not really any other observations other than this here, too. So, it's just kind of slowly starting to fall apart. I wish I had the money to kind of keep the upkeep on it, but I don't. So, I'm going to walk around and go up to the top side, kind of show you guys the inside, see what's up there. I got to grab my halter first. Whatever I did with it. I can put it over here. Yes, sir. Oh, my wallet, too. I've been wondering where that was. Would you ever get a New Holland? Absolutely. I don't know. I really like that T7 that we had a while back. It was a really nice tractor. That one, unfortunately, was just a little bit out of our price range, and you can't really cash flow it, especially with the way the prices are right now. Dairy farmers, I feel especially bad for. Crop prices are a little bit better than they were last year. A lot of people went bankrupt, and it's just not a good situation. But I was talking to someone, and they said that Wisconsin is actually divided up into different sections as far as the government sees it. Western Wisconsin actually has, sorry if the wind's bad, Western Wisconsin actually has one of the worst farmer suicide rates in the nation. I'm pretty sure they're number one right now. And unfortunately, that's because bad prices, farmers really don't see a way out. They don't really want to see their livelihood go, and they just kind of call it quits, unfortunately. But hopefully things start to pick back up. So we're in the hay mow of the barn now. I remember stacking this thing full. But have a look over here. Plenty of holes. Wind blows through it pretty good these days. But back when we were still milking, we put a lot of bales in here, and I actually just fed out some square bales last night. There was a few kind of sitting around. I got back late last night and my cows needed a bale, so I just kind of grabbed a few of these leftover hay bales. They're just kind of sitting around and threw them down for them to eat. But kind of the same system in this barn as they have downstairs. If you look, you probably won't be able to see it too well. There's a rail that they used to use to lift hay up into the top of the barn. And there it is. It goes all the way back. There's a rail. Basically, to what I was told is they used to have like a hook that they would hook up to the hay with. They would have either a mule or something pull a rope and walk away, and then that would use the pulley that's on the outside of the barn to lift the hay up, and then they'd move it in here, push it back, stack it, and then start over, rinse and repeat. So I'm not actually sure I've ever really done an official video in this barn, but maybe I'll have to do one sometime, just talk about it a little bit more. Funny story. I'll probably talk about this in a video in the future, I do too. But see this hole over here? This hole was cut here by one of the previous owners. What I was told is that one of the owners had a board in here, and I think it's probably laying around here somewhere. They cut it out, and then they would sit in here during deer season, and they would sit in here with a pair of binoculars, and they would watch for people who were trespassing down in the pasture. And they would just write down their numbers and then report them in. That's the story I was told. So what happens in old barns stays in old barns. Yep. Check out that view. So it's actually, there have been a couple times where it's been like lightning and thundering, and I've just stood in here and kind of looked out as the storms go. Last night was actually a pretty crazy night as far as lightning goes too. There were some pretty close strikes. But yeah, it's just gorgeous views, especially in the morning or late at night. So my cows look pretty happy down there. I'm gonna go over to the farm. Got things to do. My friend's supposed to be coming this afternoon to help me work on my computer to get it up and running. Got up to 363 viewers. Whew. Almost feel like I shouldn't end this live stream. You guys have any more questions for me before I go? What would you get if you had the cash for it? 7310R, 8370R, or 8400R? Probably an 8400R. We have a saying, and you can never have too much horsepower. Overkill is underrated. So basically, if money isn't a factor, it's going to be the biggest, baddest tractor there is. So thanks, Berserk 11. You too. How long you been farming? Well, I've been helping out on the farm since I was a kid. But I started farming myself full-time, having my own cattle in 2012, I believe. After that, I started actually having my own crop ground in 15, and that was the year that I graduated college. I'm not totally sure how many acres we've planted so far. We don't really keep close tabs on that. We have like 57 acres of beans done. And we got all of my crops are in now. Basically, Travis and Dad still have all their beans to go yet. We kind of did all of my crops in one go. We basically went straight from my corn right into my beans. And I don't know. Hopefully, if it keeps raining, I mean, we got some rain last night, which is good. As long as it doesn't like dry up really quick. What actually happens when it dries up really quick after a rain is the ground starts to crust over, and that's where you have emergence issues. If you guys remember last year, we were racing the storm and we were putting in beans on one of Travis's fields. It did rain pretty heavily after that. I'm pretty sure there was like a confirmed tornado somewhere close. And yeah, we had to go through and replant them. So, have you thought of feeding chopped corn to the cattle? Of course we have. We don't have a chopper though. Thanks, Kevin. I'm glad you appreciate the quality of the new videos. I do put a lot of work into them. I am going to still have my informal videos, just kind of like this, where I sit and talk. People think that, you know, how farms work is all just drone shots and music. Well, you know, I'm going to start pushing back and start, you know, going back into just kind of talking videos. Have you been in Wisconsin your whole life? Yes, I have. I've traveled quite a bit though. I've gone to New York. I've been out to Colorado 3 times now. We went out to Yellowstone when I was a kid. Went down to Florida. I've been down to Florida, I think 3 times. Twice when I went down to see Jamie, and then once when I was a kid. So could we do a meetup sometime? Possibly. I'd prefer any meetups to be on the farm day if you'd like to come in. Mostly just because it ties up a lot of time when we have people just kind of pull in. So how's the photography work? Going good. Why don't you roll the ground once you have planted seed? We were considering that actually. We'd have to get a roller first though. I'm doing pretty good, Owen. So yeah, my internet is kind of terrible whenever I go to upload videos or whenever I go to live streams. So I'm probably just gonna do most live streams off of my phones now. Phone, I'm only using one these days. Thanks, Maurice. Do you grind your cattle's corn or just mix it with the pellets? Both. Doing pretty good, Mitchell. Not much, Brian. I just got done tagging my calf. I planted a halter trainer once she grows a little bit more, but I gotta keep coming down and playing with her. It's just hard to find the time because we're so busy. Did you hear that Steamboat Geyser has erupted for the 5th time in 7 weeks? No, I have not. Thanks for watching, Michelle. Is your dad still planning on a future restore of the 4020? I'm sure he is. Ever thought about an older 4-wheel drive to pull the VT? By 4-wheel drive, I think you mean articulate. I mean, the 82 pulls it pretty good. I think we're pretty healthily matched right now as far as pulling the VT. I was just thinking about this yesterday. People were asking, you know, why don't we put the 46 on the VT? And in all honesty, after yesterday, when I was running the VT through some hay ground, the 4-wheel drive on the 82 really helps. There was a lot of slippage going on yesterday, just trying to pull it through hay ground that was flat. So it does pull pretty hard, a lot harder than what you'd think. Even it kind of surprises me sometimes. In chiseled ground, it's really not that bad. I mean, I think the 46 would pull it great in chiseled ground, but the 82 just kind of does a really good job at keeping our speed up and kind of decreasing slippage. Have you considered a farm stay unit and a rebuilt barn with that view? Honestly, like I said, I really would. It would be really cool to do something like that, but I mean, it is like right next to the barnyard, so it'd smell like cow poop, but I'm sure a lot of you wouldn't mind. If there's enough interest in it, maybe I would consider starting up a GoFundMe just to kind of rebuild this thing, but I kind of have my doubts whether or not it would do successful enough. I mean, if you guys donated money to it, anybody who donated it, something like that, you know, set up a little cot or something in here, yeah, come in and stay. I almost moved to Wisconsin, but ended up in upstate New York. I live between Green Mountains and Adirondack Mountains. I've been to Wisconsin, though. Used to live in the suburbs of Chicago. Oh, I bet you're glad you got out of there. I'm not too big on Chicago. Just going and visiting is nice, but catch you next time, H-Turbo. Why don't you clamp silage for cattle? Clamp? You mean chop? We don't have a chopper. When is the farm day? The farm day is June 23rd. It's a Saturday. People have been asking me to do this, and I'm just gonna throw it out there because I haven't really mentioned it on the channel yet. Thanks, Hayden. People were asking me if I could do stuff like a ride-along day with me, you know, do stuff in the tractor, or even just, you know, like a personalized lessons on how to drive tractors and stuff. And I was thinking I could actually do it, especially with how things are going on YouTube right now, to try to, you know, make YouTube worth keep doing, I guess you could say. I was thinking about maybe doing something like that, you know, come spend the day with us, just kind of drive the tractors around, get to learn a little bit, you know, learn how to drive a power shift and a synchro and the 4020 and all that fun stuff. But I don't know. Next purchase, not totally sure yet. Yeah, I honestly couldn't say what our next purchase might be. Did you get the windshield fixed on the 82? Yes, we did. Fun fact, our Bolingo cattle are actually from South Dakota or North Dakota. One of those. It's been a long time since we've talked about it. I went to college at UW-Platteville. Are those boards annoying? I went to UW-Platteville for ag business with a minor in soil and crop science. Basically, it covered a lot of stuff about crops and marketing. I think it was a perfect mixture. I feel like anyone on the crop side would have been a little bit too much information for me to ever use. I mean, I got a lot of stuff as far as like knowledge on plant physiology and stuff. So, do you have to pre-order tickets for the farm day? No, but I'm warning you guys, if you don't pre-order, I can't guarantee that there's going to be food for more than anybody who shows up at the gate. I'm sure there will be more than enough food, but I'm just kind of saying, you know, like we use how many people are pre-ordering to kind of gauge how much food we're going to need. So, oh yeah, there's boards loose all over this thing. I'd love to fix it up, but it'd take a lot of work. Not much is up. Are the oats out of the ground? Sorry for asking so much. Don't be sorry for asking repeatedly. I'm sorry for not answering your question because, you know, I do go off on rants and then I do miss the question. Some of the oats is coming up, yes. It's actually just starting to pop out of the ground in front of the house here. I would walk down there, but you wouldn't be able to hear me talk because the wind's blowing so bad. What's the largest tractor you've ever driven? That's a good question. That 8370R that we just demoed from Sloan's last fall. Yeah, it was last fall. And that was a lot of fun to drive too because there was definitely horsepower there. Your corn is used for what? Good question. That was actually a really good question. All of our corn is used for a multitude of purposes. So what happens is we go through, harvest our corn. Sometimes we put some of the corn into the harvester. Other times it goes into the grain bins, and then the rest goes down to the river. As the year goes on, in the spring, we go through and start to sell the corn that's in the grain bins. The corn in the harvesters get fed to the calves out here in the pole shed, which we are currently grinding and mixing feed for them. And that's what we use the majority of the corn that goes in the harvester for. But as far as what our corn actually gets used for commercially is basically just about everything. Corn can be used for ethanol. It can be used for food. Corn starch. Corn starch is in just about everything. Basically, it's just corn can be made into basically like a sweetener, and it gets put into a lot of stuff. It gets a pretty bad rap as far as like the health nuts go. People don't think that it's real healthy, but I mean, I don't really think everything is good in moderation, as long as you aren't eating too much sugar. When will you take the cows out to pasture, and will you do a video of it? I will probably do a video of it, more than likely, actually. As soon as they're done calving, which we have 2 more calves to go. We're up to 6. They're always really happy once we do. If you sold your corn, how much money would you get? Right now, I think November corn is sitting around $3.80. And by the time you take freight off that, that's $3.60. So $3.60 a bushel. You can average anywhere between 180 to 200 bushels the acre or more. Kind of depending on, you know, what kind of year you see. You know, we've seen all the way up to 230 average, up to highs of 350 in certain spots on the farm. So, will you do bottle calves again? Probably. The only thing about bottle calves is that they do take a lot of time and it's a lot of repetitive work. So, what percentage of the corn do you hold back for feed? Probably like 5% or less. Really not a whole lot. Mother's Day is coming up. Have you talked to Mom into doing a monthly family farm vlog? Yeah. Are you or your family looking for more ground? Personally, yes, we are. We're always looking for more ground. The only thing is that it's got to be worth betting on. I think that we're going to be giving some ground up here just because it's just a matter of fact of, you know, some landlords don't want to bring their rent down. And, you know, that's part of farming, you know. But we're always looking. That's why I never give an exact answer on how much acres we run, because it's up and down all the time. It just goes back and forth. We picked up more ground this spring. Would you consider a new cattle barn? If we don't restore this thing, then yes. Ever think of a big baler? Well, the round baler does a good enough job for us. Big balers are kind of expensive. Have you guys planted corn and soybeans yet? Yeah, the corn's in. All of the corn is in, as a matter of fact. That was supposed to be my video today, but I kind of got waylaid. Do you sell any of the hay that you make? We used to sell quite a bit, but we haven't been selling quite as heavily recently. Would you ever try Dutes or Deutz? Dutes. Far. Yes, I would. I would like to hop in the seat of basically every tractor brand there is. So anyway, this has been a pretty good live stream. I'm probably going to start live streaming some more. I've just been so busy, I haven't been able to find the time to do so. I might do one this weekend, not totally sure. So, how much property is yours personally? I don't own any land myself. Most of the crops that I run is all of the crops that I run is all on rented land. Basically, I live on one of the farms that my parents own. Basically, just I don't pay them anything for rent. I just trade them work in return, and it works out pretty well. So, yeah, Joe, I already tagged the calf. It's already said and done, but you should be able to rewind and see it if you're interested. I'm trying to come up with names, so be sure to give me calf names. I was trying to think of doing a plays off of Rosie, like Rosa or something, but I think that'd be a little bit too similar. I did like Maddie. Maddie was a good name. So, do you guys strictly do round bales or do you do square bales? Mostly round bales. We used to do small squares. So, weather's pretty good today. It's really freaking windy. We got a little bit of rain. 4020's doing good. Jacob, have you ever drove a Kubota skid steer? No, but I would like to because I've heard good things about them, actually. All right. Hey, Zane. Not much is going on. I'm just about to end this live stream because I got to go do some work. It is in the middle of the day. I'm probably going to live stream here again, probably by this weekend, if not by Sunday. Just kind of depends on how busy we are. If we get another rain day, I probably will. Probably on Saturday. I'd like to do my live streams on Saturdays because I know most people have off. There's a lot of people who have to attend school and are at work during the week, can't watch. And that seems like the only time that I've been able to do it. So, how much is my truck? About $60,000. What's your favorite tractor, 4640 or the 8235R? They're both kind of my favorites. How many acres do you and Travis and your dad have all together? I was just talking about this a little bit ago. Typically, I never really give an exact answer on what we run because it's changing all the time. And if I say, okay, we're running exactly this many acres right now, in 6 months it's going to change. So, diesel fuel price. Okay. Fuel prices, I actually got to go fill my truck up now, but I think it's sitting somewhere around $3, $3.15. Rosetta. That's almost a little bit too close to Rosie. I don't know, but that was a good name too. Right now we're sitting around 75 cows, 76 with the recent addition. So, what's the main crop that you harvest? We do 50-50 corn and beans mostly. Some oats, some hay. Do you ever get a chance to buy land you rent or prefer to rent? Not very often. If we were ever given the opportunity, I would probably jump on it. A lot of people ask me, do you own anything? And no, that's just because, there's really not been a lot of opportunities for it. Plus, land price around here is just so ridiculous that someone like me, being that I don't already own ground, it's pretty unlikely that they're going to give me a loan to go out and buy it. So, I was looking at some new GMC 2500, and they were $69,000 a piece. Yeah, for a new one, that's for top end, like a Denali trim. I wouldn't be surprised. The good news is, though, guys, as far as prices go for fuel and gas, the higher the gas price goes, the more boost that corn is going to get, because corn is used in ethanol, and they're pretty closely related. When corn price started to go down, that's when kind of gas prices really started to go down too. And that uses up a lot of corn stock as well. So, I mean, it's kind of bittersweet. I know that people really don't like to say it, and nobody likes rising fuel costs, but for the farmer, it's actually pretty good because then they start to go up. Would you ever delete your truck? I'm looking at deleting my truck once the warranty's up. I don't really like all the EGR and all that catalytic reduction and all that other fun stuff. I don't really like that, but I can't really fiddle with it until the warranty's up, just in case something goes wrong with it, How do you feel about beef and corn prices nowadays? Beef price, this is why I like beef. Beef prices are always usually pretty consistent. Corn price or crop prices are always pretty volatile, right along with dairy. So, where's your pet? She's down there in the barnyard. She kind of gave in. She didn't really like me coming up to her and touching her, but yeah. If you could go farm somewhere else, where would you go? Probably somewhere down in Illinois. Which, shout out to our Illinois viewers, because Illinois last month had more views on how farms work than Wisconsin did for the first time. So if you guys are from Iowa, or Illinois, thanks for watching. Iowa and Minnesota are right up there too. Rochelle. Rochelle sounds like a, well, I guess she's a black calf. If you could grow a crop just because, what would it be? That's actually a pretty good question. If I could grow a crop just because, probably cotton, to be perfectly honest, just because the whole white round bales thing really fascinates me, and it just kind of looked cool. All right, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna keep talking, but I'm gonna hop in the truck and go for a drive back to the farm, where I'll then end the live stream. Milk price will drop $5 in a month, then it takes a year to gain back $3. Yeah, that's basically the story of farming, unfortunately. What riding mowers do you have? Travis has a 425, I have a 445, and Dad has an X730. The price on any type of products that we farmers produce are very bad in Norway now. Yeah. That's one place we were actually talking about going and visiting, was Norway this summer. I'm not totally sure if I'll be able to afford it, because things on YouTube are starting to go, pretty far down as far as like AdSense and stuff goes. And that's mostly just because my MCN kind of closed down. So that little bit of cash boost that I had isn't really, well, it used to help quite a bit, especially with like buying cameras and stuff. That's why I made a little bit of a purchase there for new cameras and stuff, because I knew that stuff was starting to go downhill, and I wanted to kind of buy that stuff while I could. So you're gonna have to rewind to see the cows. I showed them a little bit ago. I gotta head over to the farm and I gotta do some work now, but I appreciate you guys watching. Do you and Travis share the same sense of humor? 99.9% of the time. YouTube has been booting some good channels. Yeah, I'm totally with you there. The funny thing though is that, ag channels are still pretty new on YouTube, so there aren't a whole lot of farming channels for YouTube to kick off. All right, there's some kind of bug. How many people do you normally have working on the farm per day? Well, I mean, all three of us, whenever we're all free. How many miles on the truck? Da-na-na-na-na-na. Should show it. Nope. Yeah, I am getting pretty low on fuel. Maybe I'll make a run to the gas station later tonight. The truck has about 10,000 miles on it, which is, I mean, I cover a lot of ground. So, do you think the Travis would trade the 76 for an 82 or 83? I don't really see him trading the 76 off, but if he did, I could see him trading it off on another smaller tractor. Do y'all have to take out an operating loan or what? Yes, actually, we do have to take out operating loans. All of us do, just to put the crops in, because it requires quite a bit of money in kind of in the bank to do that, cash. So yeah, that's the only thing, Don, about like YouTube and stuff, is that like when I actually make a good amount of money from YouTube, it kind of incentivizes me to put more time into it. But I do sacrifice a lot of my personal time making videos, and when it kind of starts to go downhill like that, it's hard for me to find the time to put time into it. I'm still going to keep making videos and stuff. It's just that I'm not going to spend quite as much time like editing and stuff. I'm just going to be recording what I do. All in all, we run around between 1,100 and 1,200 acres. I'm not totally sure how many we own, to be perfectly honest. It's not something I'm really interested in counting. After talking for a while, the back of my throat always gets like really phlegmy. Ugh. What time is it where we are? It is currently 2:40 in the afternoon. What do you think about a 7210R? I'd like to have one someday. The 82 is just shared. Would you ever think of getting a New Holland again? I would like to try one again. Faux show. Alright, I'm driving now, so I gotta kind of set my phone down. How much money can you make on YouTube? Well, to be perfectly honest, I'm making around $3,000 a month right now. That's before expenses, and that's not really enough to cover everything that I need as far as like camera equipment and stuff goes. That's why I've said YouTube just kind of covers the bills, and that's about it. Oh, fun. I had a little bit of a fiasco this morning too. I got a call from, no, actually, so I ordered computer parts a while ago, and on the 27th of April, they were supposed to deliver on May 2nd. Well, they never came. And I called up FedEx, asked them where it was. Oh, we're looking into it. They said that they'd call me by yesterday. Well, that call never came in. So at 11 o'clock this morning, the tracking information went from saying that it left Chicago straight to being at my doorstep. They said it was delivered on May 3rd, which was a day later than what it was supposed to be delivered. And I called them up. I'm like, yeah, this package never got delivered. They're like, oh, we're looking into this. And they're like, are you sure it's not around there anywhere? They're like, be sure to look around. And they're like, our delivery driver said that it was delivered. It's like, no, I have cameras up. They never even pulled in the driveway. Long pause. Oh. So I got my computer parts now, at least, because I went ahead and I just said screw it, and I bought the parts again. And I said if this package shows up, I'm just going to send it back to them and not accept it. So I went with that Intel. I got the processor all installed and everything. If you follow me on Snapchat, I'll probably post a picture of it when it's all lit up. My friend's coming over pretty soon, actually. Holy crap, it's 2:43. I guess I never realized that it was 2:40 in the afternoon. I said it, but it didn't hit me. So, do you know how to drive a manual transmission? Yes, I do. They're fun to drive, but I couldn't imagine driving one for like long periods of time on long road trips. It'd kind of get tedious, I would think. Deutz Fahrt Commander 7.3. What about it? Steve Miles. I don't see Dad trading off the 46 unless something goes terribly, terribly wrong. Do you fly the drone while you drive the tractor? I'm legally obligated to say no. Yeah, I gotta get going, guys. Been fun. I hope you enjoyed this live stream. I just got a lot of stuff to do this afternoon, and I really got to get to work making on that video this evening too. So you should do a maintenance video on your truck. Yeah, but I will actually, as far as like changing the oil and stuff. Travis is doing his right now, but my truck has free oil changes, so for me it's kind of hard to be like, yeah, I'll do it myself. It's just like, yeah, they'll do it for me. So anyway, I appreciate you guys watching. Like I said before, be sure to check back every Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday at 11 a.m. Central. That's my typical upload times. Haven't been sticking to it too well, but I definitely plan to get back on it. So be sure to stay tuned. Be sure to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. All how farms work. And I'll see you next time, guys.